Hey guys, Pastor Burton here, and it's time for a coffee break, and it is our first coffee break of 2026. So, on Sunday, I made a comment, and it's not the first time I've made this comment. I make it every year. Matter of fact, usually I even have a sermon about how we shouldn't have New Year's resolutions. Because for the vast majority, and I do mean the vast majority, it is the first promise that is broken. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't have things that we want to do, but the resolution, there's a lot of pressure to have one, but it's not the right answer. And I'll tell you why. It's because as humans, as mankind, we continue to fail and fail and fail. And what's worse is usually when we make these resolutions, it's a promise to ourselves, which is why we don't worry so much about breaking it, because we don't always feel let down by ourselves, but we should. But we never stop to think that sometimes we make a comment where we're actually not just making this resolution to ourselves, this commitment to ourselves, but we're also making a commitment to God. And that's where some scripture is going to come into play today. In Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 3 through 7. The word says, "A dream comes when there are many cares, and many words mark the speech of a fool. When you make a vow to God, do not delay to fulfill it. He has no pleasure in fools. Fulfill your vow. It is better not to make a vow than to make one and not fulfill it. Do not let your mouth lead you into sin, and do not protest to the temple messenger, 'My vow was a mistake.' Why should God be angry at what you say and destroy the work of your hands? Much dreaming and many words are meaningless. Therefore, fear God." Basically saying, don't let your mouth write a check that you can't cash. Don't make promises that you can't follow through on. And I bring this up because often when we make a resolution and we're talking to other people, it's like, I swear to God, I'm going to lose that weight, right? That's a common one. Weight loss is one of the top promises that people make every year. We see the gyms are going to be just absolutely jam-packed for the next few weeks, and then they're going to thin back out, right? But it's not just that. There are a lot of promises out there, and a lot of them are broken. So at this point, I know some of you are already starting to go the direction that I think. It was like, well, what should I do instead? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to answer that. All right. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the New Year's resolution. Why? Because it's a promise made, and it's usually a promise broken. A promise broken is still sin, right? And it comes from our own selfishness. We need to be able to commit to ourselves. If we can't commit to ourselves and keep our promises to ourselves, how are we supposed to keep our promises to God? So, in lieu of having a resolution, this promise, this commitment, the answer is right in front of us. We should have goals. I love goals. Goal setting is wonderful. All right. Goal setting is something that we should all have in our proverbial tool bag, right? Because when you set a goal, it's something to work towards, right? And this is the reason why most resolutions fail. It's because we don't have a plan. We don't have it mapped out. We don't have the steps on how we're going to get there. But when we have a goal, that changes. Because when we have a goal, they're like, the first thing that we think of, is how do I get there? What do I need to do to achieve this goal? What changes do I need to make in my life to achieve this goal? That is the answer to the question. Set a goal. And just because you didn't achieve that goal today doesn't mean you failed, right? Because you can still learn what's not going to work in achieving that goal, or you learn that, hey, I need to put in a little bit more work to get there. I need to go a little further down the road to achieve it. So it's not that, hey, I didn't achieve the goal. It's, I didn't achieve the goal yet. And a big part of that is putting God first and foremost in it. We need to pray on it. We need to continually go to Him and be like, okay, Lord, I'm not there yet. I know I'm getting there, but what else do I need to do? Or, hey, Lord, I need your help. But whatever it is that's going on, pray on it. Pray, because we should be praying first and foremost. The Lord should be first and foremost in everything that we do, right? So set that goal, map out how you're going to get to it. That is the answer, and that is your coffee break. Have a great day and continued blessings in 2026.